Steakhouse sandwich, one of a kind.
We're gonna add some oil in there and crisp up some garlic chips. Right, you don't want this too hot, so keep an eye on it. We just want them golden brown. We want them to add some crunch to our spinach, and of course, infuse all that oil with delicious garlic. This sandwich is gonna be unbelievable. Growing up, we always celebrated by going to a high-end steak dinner. You gotta get a steak, because I'm a man and that's what we do, right? We celebrate with red meat. Get out of here. Give me a sandwich any day of the week. So I would take that steak, I'd cut it into slices, I'd take the table bread, I'd build a sandwich right there at the table. My dad would probably give me a look. My mom would give me a high five. And I would sit there and just dunk that sandwich into whatever dressing was on the table. Couldn't be any more perfect in my book. Give that another minute here. It's almost exactly where we need it to be. Let's prep our steak here. A nice fresh ribeye straight from the butcher. The most marbly, delicious, fatty, tender piece of steak, I think. If I'm eating steak, I'm eating a ribeye. And steak loves salt. Steak loves pepper. Get a nice crust on there. Because we're gonna throw this baby in a very, very hot cast iron skillet. 10 years of flavor on this cast iron skillet right here. 10 years. And that's all gonna be soaked up within the surface of this meat. Don't be afraid of that salt. Get it on there. Put it right on the hot pan. And once you hear it, press it down. It's the only time you're ever gonna press this steak down. That's it. Leave it alone now. Let nature do its work. Look at these garlic chips. Perfect. Let's scoop these out using a slotted spoon. We'll reserve these for later. These are gonna be great texture to our sandwich, great bursts of garlic. Keep away vampires and your wife from smooching you, especially if she didn't eat it. Oh well, right? We're doing this for ourselves today. Add a little spice to this, right? Every sandwich can benefit from a little spice. We're gonna put some crushed red pepper right into that oil. As much as you like. You can put 10 handfuls, you can put no handfuls. I mean, I put 1 handful. All right, you start to smell it. Smells like spices in the air. Beautiful. And once that's going, start putting your boatload of spinach into the pan. I know, this is too much spinach. Stop. What are you doing? You're wasting spinach. But as you know, the proper ratio to spinach is about 1 boatload equals about 2 teaspoons of cooked spinach. So keep that in mind. And you know what? Don't be afraid of a little excess moisture on there. It's just gonna help it wilt. We're gonna do this in batches. Once it kind of wilts down a little bit, we'll add the second half. All right, now it's time for our bread here. A nice fresh French baguette. We got this at the bakery. Go to the bakery, enjoy yourself. Get a cookie or two, a pastry. Enjoy the experience, smell the smells. It's worth it because we don't wanna chintz our sandwich with a piece of bad bread. Remember that. Slice it in half. Nice sharp knife always helps. Cut in half. Cut that half in half, and using Mathonomics, cut that half in half. Boom, 4 even pieces. I got a nice grill here going. It's nice and hot. What do we do to our bread before cooking it up, before serving it, before sandwich building? We butter it, or we oil it, and then we heat it up. We're reactivating it here, and we're creating a nice crust on there. You'll get the top of the bread, but that inside of the bread you want to be just as crispy. Press it down and let it be. And I'm ready to throw in my second batch of spinach. Give it a toss. Make sure those bottom pieces that have been cooking get on top. All right, our big boatload of spinach has shrunken down to this mass right here. It's beautiful. It's spicy. Perfectly seasoned. It's gonna go great on top of our Chicago Steakhouse sandwich. Speaking of steak, our ribeye, perfectly done. Feel it, make sure it gives a little bit, but still has a little bit of resistance. We're gonna let it rest for a couple minutes. Next up, my famous buttermilk blue dressing. We got some nice fresh buttermilk in there, tangy, perfect. About a cup of mayo. Eyeball it, and for that tang, that zip, that zing, a little Dijon. Some fresh dill, right? You can use the dry stuff, but get the fresh stuff, come on. This is a special high-end meal. Nice and minced, put it in there. Some cracked pepper. And of course, our crumbled blue cheese. We're just gonna throw it all on a bun and eat it. That's my plan, kids. All right, mix it up. Get it going. Just Let's give it a taste. It's absolutely perfect, tangy and creamy and cheesy all at the same time. Let's build our sandwich, huh? And here's our rested steak. It's perfect, right? You can cut around some of that outside fat. Ribeyes are really fatty. That's why it's so tender. Nice thin slices. Our bread is nice and shiny from the butter. We got the grill marks on there. It begs for some meat. Next, of course, our spinach. Beautiful flecks of red pepper in there. Not too much. We don't want it too slimy. We want taste more of the texture of the meat, but we want the flavor from the spinach. Throw some of those garlic chips right on there. Just let it rain. Of course, our buttermilk blue dressing. A little bit goes a long way, but a lot tastes really good. I'm just gonna step back and look at this creation. It is unbelievable. I would pay $83 for this plate of food, and I didn't even put the top bun on yet. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut it in half. A nice sharp bias cut so you can start on that angle. Put it right down there. And you know what? For an option, you got your tomato there, nice beefsteak tomatoes, and some red onion. Look at that. In a beautiful, homemade Chicago Steakhouse fancy dinner, thrown on a bun, turn into a sandwich. Take a ride with me, will you? Guaranteed the best steak sandwich you will ever eat in your life.